Okay, our last FBS game of the episode here. We have number 24, Fresno State, a 6-point favorite on the road at Wyoming. This game carries an over-under of 45.5 points. Game kicks off at 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Now, what's interesting about this is this flexed TCU Iowa State out of Fox. Like, they pushed them out of that window and replaced it. I can't remember if that's ever happened. And people I follow that do a lot of the TV scheduling stuff on Twitter, genuinely like, I don't think I've ever seen this before. So good for this team. It's a much better game. Look, Wyoming's 4-1, man. They have a win over Texas Tech, and their lone loss this season is Texas. Come on, this is a great record, in my opinion, here. Despite being depleted with injury and not being capable of attempting a forward pass still, Wyoming is finding ways to get it done one way or another, usually in thrilling victory. Wyoming has been outscored 47-0, though, in their last 2 meetings against Fresno State. And then they also lost 27-3 in 2018. So if you're doing the math there, they have not found the end zone since before 2018 against Fresno State. The biggest issue for the Cowboys this season is they can't keep the offense on the field on late downs, and they also can't get their defense off the field on late downs as well. They're converting under 29% of their third downs. That is 122nd nationally, and they're 97th in opposing third down conversion rate at almost 44%. Fresno is 17th in late down success rate, so keep in mind there that they're able to get off the field on third down. You can run the ball on Wyoming, unless you're Texas Tech for some reason. Not sure what happened there, but everybody else has been able to. They're 110th in yards per rush allowed. But Fresno doesn't run the football. They're minus 9.3% rush rate over expected. Again, shout out Stats War, Parker Fleming on Twitter there. Thanks for that. That's 14th lowest in the country, and they're 116th in rushing success rate, so not a lot of handoffs coming from Fresno State. But Mikey Keene, the UCF transfer, he's been a really pleasant surprise. I know there's a lot of questions about, is he going to work out at Fresno? Is he not under Jeff Tedford? But yeah, he has so far. 1.8% turnover-worthy throw rate is top 15 nationally in a good way, not in the highway, of course. And then his top receiver, Jalen Gill, is 4th in yards per route run. He's got a low ADOT, but he's a big yak guy that, again, they use him as an extension of the run game that they don't really have inside. Jalen Gill's been an absolute alpha this season. The Wyoming offense, same old, slow pace, run heavy. They don't go for it in any situation on fourth down, typical stuff.
Typical stuff, Brett. This is not a typical Mountain West game, though, as you alluded to. Oh. I have Fresno State -5. It's a 64% win expectancy. At number 25, Fresno State is the highest-ranked Group of 5 team in my most deserving metric. And at 5-0, the Bulldogs have 1.6 more wins than projected, ranking number 7 in my overachievers list. On the predictive side, Fresno State is the only team in the Mountain West that has been projected to finish in the top 2 of the conference standings every single week, as I've been updating that graphic every week. There isn't a single game left on the regular season schedule that my numbers favor Fresno State by less than a field goal. The offense is number 51 nationally. That's 3rd in the conference. The defense is number 39 nationally. That's number 2 in the conference. For Wyoming, at 4-1, the Cowboys are number 11 on my overachievers list with 1.4 more wins than projected through week 5. However, predictably speaking, which again, that's what we need to look at here to pick a winner, this might be as good as it gets for the Cowboys team that my numbers project as an underdog in each of their next 3 games, including this one here. The defense is good enough. They're number 60 nationally. But the offense, I don't think, is good enough to really be a serious contender in the Mountain West. It ranks number 97 nationally. Bottom line, Fresno State -5, 36% chance that Wyoming remains unbeaten in Mountain West play. I mentioned Fresno State and how they keep hanging around the top of the conference standings. They're currently the 2nd best odds to make it, 54% behind Air Force. With a win, it jumps to 65%. With a loss, Fresno State actually, because of the remaining schedule and their current power rating, still is the 2nd best chance to make it to the conference championship game with a 34% chance. I think Boise State will have something to say about that if Fresno State loses this game. For Wyoming, yes, it's been a great year. Yes, they're looking good as things stand right now, but they're really not a serious threat by my numbers to make the conference championship game at this point, at least, because they have Air Force on the road next. Then they're at off week. Then they have at Boise State. If they get through these next 3 games at 2-1 or better, they're absolutely in this mix. I just don't think that's going to happen.
Look, we talked about in the preseason with Fresno's strength of schedule that they had a relative cakewalk. They avoid Air Force here. They host Boise State. And now I do want to get in the weeds one more time with the FBS. You don't think of Valley Children's Stadium, which is the name of Fresno State's home, You don't think of it as a daunting home environment, but Kelly, they've been selling out a lot of their games, and their student section has been sold out for almost every game this season. That matters. The Boise State game for the student section is already sold out. So keep in mind that when you come to these games and the student section is loud and exciting, that's where a lot of your home field advantage comes from. And Fresno has a big home field. I would almost account for over FBS average this year for Fresno State's home field. And again, they host Boise State at San Diego State. That's not something that scares me too much in terms of road environment. But yeah, I mean, the path is clear for them to at least make, if not host, the Mountain West Conference Championship this season.